Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Lewis, and if you're new to this channel talks about all things engineering, technology, and finance. In this week's video, we're going to touch on the topic of student loans, specifically federal student loans, and which one's best to use for college. Before we touch on the topic of student loans, one thing you should always ask is, who is the person that's giving me the advice? And what is their motivation behind giving me that advice? Let's take a look at a small clip so that way you can see what my credentials are with student loans and what's the motivation behind me telling you the message.
Welcome to Nashville. Good to have you.
Thank you.
How much did you pay off?
All right. I'm the numbers gal, so I'm going to give you the specific details. $359,833.55.
Love it. How long did this take?
5 years.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
We started at 110 and ended right over 200, a little over 200.
So with the length of time and the size of this, I'm guessing you two might have paid off your house.
No,
unfortunately not.
no.
You paid off a student loan the size of a house.
Yes,
Yes,
we did.
sir.
Oh my goodness.
sir.
So what was the $360,000 in debt?
So the breakdown was $337,000 was student loans.
Ah.
With that short clip out of the way, we can take a look now at what student loans are available to us and which is the best one to use when you are going to college. Jumping into the different types of federal student loans that are available, there are 4 different types. We have the direct subsidized loans. We also have the direct unsubsidized loans, the direct plus loans, and finally the direct consolidation loan. So jumping into the direct subsidized loans, this loan is available to undergraduate students that display a financial need. How much you can borrow with this direct subsidized student loan is all determined by your school, and they determine that based on the financial aid package that's given to you when you fill out your FAFSA. Keep in mind that the amount that you borrow cannot exceed what your financial aid says you need. The U.S. Department of Education pays your interest for the direct subsidized loan when either 3 things can happen. Either you're in school at least half time, or for the first 6 months after you leave school. This is typically referred to as what's called the grace period, and during the period of deferment, a postponement of a loan. Going into further detail on the next federal student loan is the direct unsubsidized loan. Now this loan is available to undergraduate and graduate students. In this particular loan, there is no requirement to demonstrate any financial need. How much you can borrow in this particular loan is dependent on your school, and your school dictates the amount that you can borrow, and it's based on the cost of the attendance and other financial aid that you receive. One of the key differences between the direct unsubsidized loan and the subsidized loan is that the unsubsidized loan, you are responsible, and when we say you, meaning the person who borrows the money to go to college, you are responsible for paying the interest on the direct unsubsidized loan during the entire period. It doesn't matter whether you are in school, it doesn't matter whether you go under deferment, none of that stuff plays any role. You are responsible for paying the interest, and it accumulates over time. Jumping into the next loan in the federal student loans that are available is the direct plus loan. And in the direct plus loan, it's available to eligible parents and graduates or professional students through participating schools in the direct loan program. Now, some of the things to note about this particular direct plus loan is that the Department of Education is going to be your lender. The other item about this loan is that you are subject to a credit check, and you have to make sure that you don't have any adverse credit history because it will affect your ability to receive a plus loan. The maximum plus loan amount that you can receive is the cost of the attendance minus any other financial aid that you receive. The last federal student loan that's available is the direct consolidation loan. In this particular loan, this loan actually allows you to apply and take all of your eligible federal student loans and combine them into a single loan to have a single payment per month. We briefly went over the different types of federal student loans that you can get for college. Now, let's see which one is the best to utilize when going to college. Drum roll, please. If you thought of in your mind none of these, then you are absolutely correct. Why am I saying that none of these student loans are good to have when going to college? Let's jump into some details and look at why having student loans is not a good idea. Let's Google average federal student loan per borrower. As of September 27, 2021, according to educationdata.org, the United States totals $1.73 trillion in student loans. 43.2 million student borrowers are in debt with an average of almost $40,000 each, so $39,351. That should give you an idea as to why student loans are not the best options to choose. You really don't want to be part of the statistic where you owe $40,000 in student loans, and that's on average, by the way. One other reason to look at, and let's head over to google.com. Let's look up average college graduation rate. According to educationdata.org, again, we can see here that most people that go to a 4-year institution, on average, 60% of them graduate and 40% of them do not even graduate. And it even says here the number may be a little bit higher amongst students who take longer than 6 years to graduate. So think about that, right? Let's say out of 10 people that go to college, let's say all of them take out student loans. 60% of them are going to graduate, 40% of them are not. So meaning that you're going to invest all this money and you're not going to be able to graduate and even get your degree. So that's another reason to think about why you're going to be stuck with this debt. You don't even have a degree to go with it. And one last interesting point that I'm going to make when it comes to why student loans are not the greatest. So when completing your FAFSA, you have to head over to studentaid.gov. I find this marketing to be very, very interesting because it is true in two ways. One way you can look at this marketing, it says you are America's smartest investment. This is very interesting because most people can see this and say, okay, I'm investing in myself, so I am in essence America's smartest investment, right? We want smart people to be able to run the country, create goods and services, so on and so forth. That's just at the face of looking at this from most people's eyes. If you look at this a little bit deeper, not only are you an asset to America because you are paying your taxes every single year, but also they're making a lot of money off of the interest that you are generating by holding on to these student loans. So let's take a look at an example. If we head over back to our statistic from earlier, we can see that 43.2 million student borrowers are in debt by an average of $39,351. Let's do some math on that. So first thing we're going to look at is federal student loan interest rate is. And here are the numbers. For simplicity, we're going to take a look at what the subsidized and unsubsidized interest rate is for undergraduates. Okay, so we have now 43,200,000 people, and they owe on average $39,351. So we have here a total of $1,699,963,200,000 held by students. And if we multiply that by 0.0373%, the money generated by this student loans that is held by 43.2 million Americans, and on average, right, on average they owe $39,351, $63,408,627,360 are going to be generated to the federal government for holding your student loans. When we take a look and we see here that it says you are America's smartest investment, of course you are America's smartest investment. You are generating over $63 billion worth of interest. This is another reason why I believe student loans are not the route to go. Now that we have established that student loans are not the route to go, and some of the reasons why it's not the route to go, how do we get to college, right? How do we pay for it? And these are going to be some ideas in no particular order, but some ideas that you can use in order to help you go and pay for college. One way to pay for college and especially if you don't have any resources to take you into college, is the armed forces. They have programs in there that allow you to pay for college and get your degree, and in return you are providing them some years of service. Another way to pay for college is focusing on your grades and making sure that you are applying for scholarships. There's a lot of money that is put into scholarships, and sadly a lot of it goes untouched because people don't even bother applying for them or researching them. So make sure you spend your time looking for scholarships, applying for scholarships, and utilizing the money that people have invested in those scholarships, because a lot of the times it goes to waste because nobody claims them. Another way to pay for college, and this is not your traditional way of paying for it, but I have had some friends who became employees of the university or college, and becoming employees, you actually have the benefit of being able to take advantage of either free or reduced tuition. If you're a parent and you have a good time horizon and you're looking to see how you can pay for your child's educational expenses so they don't go into student loan debt, there will be a video linked in the description that talks about how to save for college. I went in and broke down how to save for college, how to make sure that you're prepared so that way when they go to school, they don't have any student loans. Last but not least, an idea for going to college and paying for it would be college choice and working while you're in school. So there you have it. We just took a look at the different federal student loans that are available to you if you want to pay for your college expenses using them. But we did take a look at which one you should utilize. And if you skipped the video and didn't see it, the answer is none of them. The reason why none of them are good to utilize for going to college. And also we took at different ways on how to pay for college now that we know that we're not going to use student loans in order to pay for college. Hopefully this video was able to provide you value. If it did, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. We will be releasing content so that way you can learn as much as possible. If you know somebody who's interested in learning more about student loans, or you think this video would help them out tremendously, make sure you share the content with them. That way it gives them the ability to learn about the student loans and be able to make an informed decision, as I didn't have this resource available when I was growing up. We'll see you on the next video.